they got to get it back to where they were. They've lost 4 of their last 6. Have the Rockets. They just don't look as good as they have in the past. They just, I don't know. I don't know about this basketball team right now. It just doesn't look very good. It's just not very good right now. Of course, the night before with Oklahoma City, you had a back-to-back, but you go into Indiana last night, and they weren't good enough. Man, can they shoot? Holy crap. Halliburton. I mean, they can shoot.
Every time that you made it back up the hill, they just started draining threes.
I mean,
it was so frustrating.
He just can shoot the snot out of the ball.
So frustrating. And, you try to play zone against them, and the Rockets had some success in zone at times, but eventually it just got you beat because, pro players are too good. And, frankly, your zone defense wasn't good enough. Your rotations weren't good enough. And you got to really be good up top. You got to really be on top of your game to keep, to close out shooters. And it's really deadly against Indiana if you don't close them out because they can shoot it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. I mean, every time you cut it, in fact, you even took a lead in the fourth quarter. They were down 11, then cut it to like 3. Then they were down 12 and cut it back down to, I think it was 2. Then it just kept yo-yoing back and forth. Every time the Rockets made it back, there's like a 7-0 run by Indiana, or 9-0 run. And the Rockets went way down, and then they came back and led by 1, 96-95. And then, but eventually, Indiana, 3 by Indiana, 2 by Indiana, 3 by Indiana, and that was it. Like, Rockets couldn't shoot free throws, worth the crap. Terrible, terrible night for shooting free throws. Amen couldn't hit the broadside of a free throw barn. And it was just, they just shoot too well. You just eventually have to. Now, they had some misses in there, but when they needed it, that's how they would extend on you, a 7-0 run, a 9-0 run, and you just couldn't get back up the hump. And then the last one, they just buried you with the run, and you had no chance.
Yep.
So the game was over at about the 3-minute mark. It was done.
So right now, the Lakers are starting to pull away. They're 3 games ahead of the Rockets now. They were behind the Rockets before all of this started. They won 7 straight. They look really, really good. Dallas doesn't look as good. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say since the trade, Dallas doesn't look as good as the Lakers do. I'm just saying.
Well, okay? None of their players are healthy.
Well,
Anthony Davis, the guy you traded for.
Kyrie went down. Play. He's done. He's done for the year.
You traded for nothing, basically.
No, you're right.
If you trade for a guy who doesn't play, then what did you trade for?
So the Lakers are 10.5 behind Oklahoma City. Nuggets 11. Memphis 12. Now the Rockets 13.5. The Rockets are only 3.5 games ahead of Minnesota to be in the play-in and not in the postseason. Not squarely in the postseason. Yeah. So they got to get it back to where they were. They've lost 4 of their last 6. Have the Rockets. They just don't look as good as they have in the past. And how much of this is Fred, being injured and Fred not being that guy? Here's the run, though. You're at New Orleans, then Orlando, Phoenix, Dallas, Chicago, Philadelphia, Orlando, Miami, Denver. Well, up until then. You got a run here where you can make some hay. They're not playing good basketball teams. But you know what? The Rockets don't play well against bad basketball teams.
Yeah, it's not a given anymore that they're going to win those games.
No, it's not a given. They play tomorrow night at New Orleans, and then Saturday back here against New Orleans. They do have 7 straight at home. 2, 4, 6 straight at home. No, wait, 2, 4, 6 straight at home. So that will be good to have 6 straight at home.
Need a 5-1,
and they need to be Yeah.
Because then you're comfortable if you're 5-1. You're fairly comfortable.
Yeah.
Right now you're not comfortable. Not anymore.
You got no more games against Minnesota, which I'm not sure it's a great thing because they may sneak up and get back in there. But this has been a bad stretch of basketball for this team. They've only won five games of their 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're 5-11 in their last 16. Mm-hmm. Not good. Not good. So
5-11.
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, so they really had that 6-game losing streak started it, and then they won a couple, lost 1-1, lost 1-2, lost 3. So this team's got to get it back. 37-25, 12 games over 500. We talked about this yesterday. This is where you make a little hay, though. I mean, there are tough stretches in a schedule, but this is where you got yourself. This is the time where you can get back, because Phoenix is terrible, New Orleans is terrible. Orlando, you should be better than. Dallas is terrible. Chicago's terrible. Philadelphia's awful. These are the games that you need to make hay. So this is when they got to do it. Although I thought yesterday they would make a little hay since they got all their starters and they were rested and seen and nothing. So we got to get this team back with a little bit of confidence, and we'll find out.